Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast.
Okay, we're live. How's it going, everybody? We have a great announcement today as Canada and specifically Ontario continues to explode with growth. Andre LaFountain, how are you doing, my good friend? And welcome, Robert Preece, and welcome to EXP. And the story today is you just hit the ground running when you came on board, right? So you've been pretty busy selling lots of houses and people coming over and joining with you. A lot of excitement in the air today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, man. So I love, this opportunity and it seems like Canada is just really ripe for EXP right now. And, but why don't you kind of just tell kind of your story of how, you came across it. Obviously Andre, was involved in sharing that with you, but like, what was kind of your experience of looking at this business model and kind of where did you come from, and how long you've been doing this and how did all that play out to you making a decision to come join?
Sure. I mean, Andre was fundamental in me coming over. I've known Andre now, gosh, I'm going to say about, close to 50. I was part of the Craig Proctor coaching program, ended up with Todd Walters, and Andre was part of that. And I've been out of the coaching program for a number of years. And then Andre gave me a call, about a year ago, and started talking about this company, EXP. And didn't really know much about it. EXP really wasn't here in Ontario. I was pretty happy with my brand. I was with Better Homes and Gardens. I thought it was a great brand and was pretty content. And, Andre said, hey, you gotta look at this. Let me send you this. Let me read this, do this. And all over me. And, every day or every second day, I'm getting something from Andre. And some I read, some I didn't. That timing's up. I'm not interested. And Andre's like, dude, you got to really look at this stuff. So I started looking at it bits and pieces, and I kind of got my feet wet maybe about 7 or 8 months ago, and said, well, I don't know, maybe in the new year, Andre, maybe in the new year. And then he started calling me. And again, and the process just continued. I thought, you know what? I just got to sit down and look at this stuff. And that's what I did. I sat down, I looked at it, and I dissected it, and spent all kinds of time kind of, trying to find out what I could about EXP. And finally, Andre and I, we had some pretty good conversations, solid ones. In the end of January, beginning of February, I said, okay, look, I'm going to come, but I just gotta iron out a few things first. And anyways, I jumped April the 1st, and biggest mistake about joining EXP was I should have done it a year ago. So that's the big mistake. It should have been a year ago. I'd be that much farther ahead, but everything happens. Timing is really important. And anyway, it worked out really great. So it's been a great experience so far. And I probably one of the best decisions I've made in real estate so far.
Right. Wow. That's awesome, man. So there, in doing your research and looking at the model, it's funny how, it seems like it's unless somebody is willing to sit down and invest, first it's going to be maybe a 30-minute or an hour video or something like that. But then after that, you're going to want to watch a lot of videos, right? Like that's typically what happens, but just like to take the time to look at the model. A lot of people don't do that. And, and timing is everything. I totally get your process. I went through the same thing. Timing for me wasn't right away. And for a lot of people, things are going great or things are going well enough and you just don't look at it. But what would you say to somebody who's in that place that, where they're comfortable where they're at and they assume there couldn't be something that's just that much better? What would you say to that person?
Well, that's the thing, right? They assume there's nothing better. So you're at Real Estate A, and you're at a legacy brand, and then Real Estate B calls you, and they're a legacy brand. They say, "Come on over," and you're like, "It's just a different flag. It's the same four walls. It's the same place. You offer the same thing. You just give me a different brand." So what I think out there is that most realtors think that, hey, I'm comfortable at Real Estate Company A, and there's really no need to go to Real Estate Company B because they're all the same. And the reality is that's I don't know. I guess that's the outside looking in. They just don't know. So talking about EXP to say, hey, we're not a legacy brand, and there really isn't anything out there that kind of replicates that or is even close to this. It's a real game changer when they start to take a look at it, for sure.
Right. Yep. That couldn't have said it better. That is exactly the case. And so many people have that aha moment, especially if they're willing to look at it with an open mind, assuming that, whatever I'm doing isn't the best way it could possibly be done. And so, yeah, that's great. Andre, what was kind of your perspective as Robert kind of started going through the process, and, you talked to him a couple times over the year span or whatever. What was your kind of take on that process?
Yeah, he was comfortable where he was at. He was doing good with the company that he was currently at, selling a lot of houses and comfortable, I think. But after I finally got him to look at a little bit of the information, then he was intrigued, right? He's like, wow. Then he starts asking more questions, and he just had to really dissect things. And it was about a year from the day that I called him originally till the day that he actually joined. It was maybe a week before, after 12 months. So he really did a lot of due diligence in between. He has a place in Mexico, got his license in Mexico as well. So he was on vacation there for a while. But I think when he was thinking about getting his license in Mexico, he's like, let's see, I can be here in Canada all summer selling. And once we open up in Mexico, then I'll be able to open a business down there as well, right? With when we open Mexico up. So then he really started digging in and just got plugged into a lot of the free coaching and training and systems that you guys provide, and saw how awesome it was, right? He used to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get some pretty high level coaching, and now he's getting it absolutely free with you guys at NAEA. So I think that was a big deal too. And he started sharing it with his friends. He was asking it just like all of us. We call our good friends and say, hey, have you heard about this EXP thing? What do you know about it? It looks pretty good, but poke some holes in this thing, because, I don't know. It looks good to me, but what don't I know? And he started doing that with a couple of his friends, and they actually came over as well.
Right. That's a good sign. So yeah, how did that go, Robert? You showed it to a couple of people. What was their, how did that go?
Well, there's another girl that came over, another realtor that came over. Actually, she came before I did, but I told her once, I said, hey, listen, there's this kind of event. It's kind of like it's happening just north of Hamilton, kind of in Toronto there. It's a free lunch. It's just kind of go and check this thing out, and talking about coaching, a few other things. I said, they're going to talk a little bit about this real estate company at the end called EXP. I said, but don't worry, you're not obligated to anything. And but just go, keep an open mind and listen, right? And unbelievable. She came back and she said, why didn't you tell me it was going to be so much more about EXP, and that this whole day was, kind of centric on EXP? And I said, because I don't think he would go. And she said, you know what? I'm so glad I got it. She goes, I don't even really need to think about this. This is an absolute no-brainer. So she just came, right?
Right. That's awesome.
And she's been out there too, saying the same thing. She said, all the legacy brands are the same. I need a bit of diversification in income. I need an exit strategy. I need a full business plan, the whole 9 yards. Nobody else can give that to me other than EXP. And so, she's working to bring more people over, and she's got the excitement, but she's seen it right away. I didn't see it right away. I was kind of a little bit of a naysayer because I was comfortable. But once I got down to the meat and potatoes, it was, like I said, was great. And I should have done this a year ago.
That's awesome. I love it. So, yeah, showing it to other people is, always a good way to get some feedback. Did they have any feedback other than just like, oh, this is a no-brainer? Because that is a lot of times what the feedback is. But anything else or maybe more important, like what stood out to you most in the model that really that really made you look at it closer, right? Like, was there something that caught your attention that really got your attention in the beginning, or was it anything in particular?
Yeah, there was two things. So the one was the kind of what's in it for me. What's in it for me? And I had to look at, kind of where I was. And I think, okay, I'm in a traditional brokerage. And if my broker decides to sell that brokerage or decides to close that brokerage or whatever, they move on and I'm left with nothing. So, at this stage of the life, I think, geez, don't want to be left with nothing. I need something a little bit more than that. So, at EXP, we've got, passive income possibilities, stock option, great plans, all of that, exit strategies, coaching, all of that stuff that nobody else offers. But the other thing, the non-bricks and mortar aspect about how you guys conduct business, specifically during the pandemic, all these real estate companies are closing down or operating on skeleton hours and laying off staff. And here we are full throttle, operating 24/7, conducting training sessions, meeting with people all over North America, and business went on without any interruption. But what it did do is it's taken us, that kind of pandemic has taken us all forward with training and allowed us to enhance our skills and our cohesive kind of, internal relationships, and these are all pretty cool things that just nobody else can do.
Right.
Nobody else has done.
Right. Sure. Yeah, it was like a test for this business model. And I remember I was talking to Chris Bear, one of the executives in the company, and he's like, this has been unreal. Like, this was like the first part of March when everything was still weird to all of us, right? Like, we're at home, our kids are at home, so everything else. And he said, not one meeting got rescheduled at EXP, and they have like 700 plus employees. So like everybody was continuing to work, and nothing changed. It's just that was our business model, working from home, up in EXP world, which is just, it was perfect for an example of how businesses can operate flawlessly in a cloud, and when things shut down. So yeah, and I think for a lot of us, it was just kind of hard to understand, well, how is a cloud-based office better in any way, right? Like I didn't get that it was disruptive when I joined. I didn't understand why a cloud-based office was better, because if it's not better, it's not disruptive. So it has to be better. And until you join and you're on the inside, and then you're like, wait a minute, I got, all the groups for, Canada, Ontario, you're connected to everyone in the company. You're connected to everyone in the entire world in the company. There's all this training. The top people in the company are doing most of the training. So you're learning from people out there doing it today. And like how the ease of getting things done, like, searching a group to get an answer to a question, as opposed to have to drive into an office and chase down a broker and stuff like that. Like, until you actually experience, it's like ordering from Amazon. Like, I didn't know when I ordered my first book, I would order everything from Amazon, but like, I'm not going to get in the car and go drive to the store if I can just order it on Amazon. Like, it's just easier. It's just convenient. It's better. It's easier. It's faster. Yeah. And that's really what the cloud, the cloud office experience is like, is until you experience it. Sometimes I think people don't really understand how much better it really is than trying to operate from a brick and mortar, type of an office business model. Yeah,
I agree.
So, yeah. So what? Since you've been here, you've been already doing some business. So tell us about that. I know that a lot of people will they get hung up on their brand and think their brand is really their business, and it matters to their clients. And I think my experience has told me otherwise. But what has been your experience coming over to EXP, and as far as the business goes, and the brand and the flag that you're flying now, is that helped or hurt or anything of that nature?
Well, I've always believed that I'm my own brand anyways. It just happens to work for a brokerage. And even before coming over to EXP, I talked to quite a few clients and said, hey, if I made the move from one brokerage to another, how does that affect our relationship? And the answer is, it doesn't affect our relationship at all. We're here to work with you. If you feel that you've got a better opportunity, better resources, better tools, better connections, hey, we support that. And so my clients have been on board. There was no interruption. And sales have been good, right? I mean, my first deal that I did was 1.6. I double-ended it, a luxury property. And, I've talked to a couple people out there, and I've just talked to one the other week, and she's thinking about coming over, but worried about the brand, and said, hey, I'm at a high-end brand. What, how does that impact your sales when you come over to EXP? I said, it doesn't. You're the brand, right?
Right.
Enhance your position through the training, through the network, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's actually a compliment rather than a concern. And
right.
Got some great sales, some great listings coming up. I've got one at 2.1 coming up next week. And again, no concern about the brand. They're here to work with me. So they respect the fact that I've made a decision and a good business choice to come to a growing brand that has the tools that I need to succeed.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So yeah, so Andre, anything you want to add, or anything that you think we should point out in terms of? And first of all, reach out. If you're watching this and you don't know about EXP, or you heard it from someone else, or whatever the case may be, like, take the time and reach out to Robert, reach out to Andre or me. Reach out and have a conversation, and at least learn something about the brand and learn what it is that we're doing. I mean, I don't think we've done it quite the justice, in so far what we've talked about a lot of different things, stock, revenue share, all these different things, but you really want to investigate it. And so reach out to one of these two gentlemen and have a conversation. I would highly recommend you do that. Andre, anything you want to add as well?
Yeah, I just want to thank Robert for being open-minded and just taking a deeper dive. I mean, he said, well, the one mistake that I made was I didn't do it a year sooner when I first heard about it. But thank goodness, at least he did the due diligence. And once he did the deeper dive, you could see there's nothing bigger and better than the entire globe, right? But I just want to just point that out for anybody that knows Robert. Definitely call him and have a deeper conversation of why should they really take a closer look, because I just feel bad for the people that we reached out to and talked to a lady today, and she's like, yeah, that's they're just not real interested in making a move. It's like, I know no one's interested in making a move unless they're really unhappy where they're at, and we don't want unhappy people. We want happy, excited people doing a lot of business, and that's what this model is attracting, right? But the people that are entrepreneurial minded and open, right? You got to be open minded to see what's going on in business, and I'm excited that Robert did take a look and now he's experiencing some great things, and the future is bright, right? Because Jay, you heard the other day that EXP announced they're going to be opening up 5 more countries by the end of third quarter, and a total of 8 new countries by the end of the year. So what a big, huge opportunity for especially people in Canada that haven't really heard about EXP yet. The sellers out there. Well, we're global, right? We're global now. But how much bigger reach are we going to have for those multi-million-dollar properties when we're opening up all these other countries? So it's a big deal.
Yep. Absolutely.
And thanks for keeping on me, Andre. Or, geez, he was relentless. Let me tell you.
Right. Yep. And it's and that kudos to you, because you finally took took the time to take a look at it. So we're proud to be in business with you. We look at you as a business partner, Robert, and you're here to support you and help you with anything we can, and an extension of your business. And so anything you would want to leave everybody with that's maybe watching this now?
Hey, now's the time to jump right in. Give me a call. I'll be happy. Yeah. Do
that. Absolutely. There's no better time. The only better time was yesterday, and the best time was now. So so love it. Appreciate you guys very much.
What's your phone number, Robert, that someone can contact you at if they want to ask you a few more questions about your experience?
Sure. Yeah. My mobile number is 905 is the area code. So 905-931-8006. I'm around 7 days, generally till 10. So don't be shy on calling.
And one last comment or one last question I'd like to ask you, Robert. I mean, a lot of people, when they look at joining, a virtual company like this, we think like Jay mentioned earlier, is like you might feel like you're out there alone because you don't have an office that you're walking into, even though you can have an office. We have people all over Canada that have offices now, but like myself, I work out of my home. How has the collaboration been, and your experience with have you ever felt alone since you came over, and what can you say about that?
Yeah, onboarding was amazing. It was seamless, and they followed up with me. So I was probably inundated in a good way with EXP personnel, making sure that I have everything that I need, making sure that I was set up, making sure that I understand the resources that are available, and just always providing me with methodology to get in touch with these people for anything that I need. So that said, it was a great experience. And as far as feeling alone, never. I feel more connected now than I have at any brokerage. And the world, I mean, it's there 24/7. So I can chat and meet with people 11 o'clock at night if I really want to. So there's always someone there. You're never alone.
Right. Love it. Love it. thank you guys so much. It's always a pleasure. I love hearing your story, Robert. If I could ever do anything, always reach out. And everybody, thanks for joining. And make sure that you reach out to Robert. Do your due diligence. You're a business for yourself. With an EXP, you're not in business by yourself. So look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.